Car, do you ever feel old?
All the time.
I'm about to make you feel older. Mateen Cleaves Jr. Yeah, him. We've talked about him for a couple years coming up through the youth rankings, but it's getting to that time where we can start talking about him as a serious college basketball prospect. Mateen Cleaves Jr. was dominating over the weekend, apparently. I guess, was this like a Nike event? Is that what it was? Do you know what it
Yeah,
was?
the Nike Top 100. Or I think it's Top 100, but I know it's a Nike like camp.
It's like the elite top 100 camp, but it's so shortly after the like NBPA elite top 100 camp, it confuses me on what's what. But anyways, Nike Elite 100 camp. Mateen Cleaves Jr., point guard, class of 2028, led his team to the championship, finished the week with the highest assist to turnover ratio in the entire camp. And there's a bunch of good highlights from him just hooping, running the show, just like Pops did back in the day. People noticed as a result. I believe up until now, Matin Cleaves Jr. has not pulled in too many high major offers. It's just too early. He's a class of 2028 kid. I'm assuming he's going to get there at some point, but you go through his offer list before this, it's been like, the directional schools, Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan, etc. This weekend, with his standout performances at the Nike camp, he received an offer from Rutgers, his first Big Ten school that I've heard named for Mateen Cleaves Jr. And I am assuming that Michigan State will be heavily involved when the time comes, if they are not already. But I saw, I guess somebody on Instagram posted like future Spartan dog with some clips of Mateen Cleaves Jr. at this camp, and Pops was all over it, like reposting it, like yes sir. So assuming Tom Izzo doesn't pull the Jackson Richardson, I'm not even offering you card. Assuming this just goes normally, I would think Mateen Cleaves Jr. is a future Spartan, but maybe you can help enlighten the people on this card. What's your reaction to Mateen Cleaves Jr. standing out at the Nike camp and his recruitment in general?
So obviously the assistant turnover is very impressive. It seems that he has the floor general stuff that his pops did have as far as the way he sees the game. And look, he's a rising sophomore. He played for Orchard Lake St. Mary's last year, which was a really good team. But he was obviously he was a bench guy. His role was limited. I'm very interested to see what he looks like with this year's Orchard Lake St. Mary's team, given that the Trey McKinneys of the world and some other big pieces they had on that state. I think they won the state championship. Maybe they lost to East Lansing. I'm not sure, but I'm very interested to see what he looks like in more of a prominent role. I think this year with Orchard Lake St. Mary's. But at 6'4", he's a kid who's got some solid size. He looks like he's pretty well built. I think he's actually starting to lose his baby fat a little bit too. But he's a stronger kid. And I'm just very interested to see kind of where his recruitment and like what level it takes off because um I do think he has a bit of a ways to go, but people are starting to take notice. And by him going to these camps and having these good performances, I think it'll bode well for him. And as far as Michigan State basketball, it would bode well if Mateen Cleaves Jr. does keep developing and becomes this high level prospect. Because if he does, like this is a wrap. Like what's Steven Izzo's middle name?
Mateen.
Yeah, like this. I don't care if he becomes the number one prospect in the class of 2028. He's going to Michigan State. I really don't want to even pay much attention to this. He will be going to Michigan State.
So he hoops with the family, and like there's all this good, I don't know, I don't want to call it data, but I've seen a bunch of reports of Mateen Cleaves Jr. having great games with the family in the last year. We know the family is a big time AAU program here in the state of Michigan. In my opinion, usually, I don't know if it's still the same, but back when I was playing, the best of the best played for the family. And if you were putting up huge numbers as a freshman with the family, you were probably going to command national attention. All the highlights I've seen of Mateen Cleaves Jr. back this up. I think he looks great. I think he has clearly like a lot of the natural, just mental stuff that his dad had passed down. Like you mentioned that three-word phrase, y'all love it, the floor general. He's got that. He is also capable of hitting shots from outside in a way that I think his dad just wasn't. So there's a level of maybe his game potentially being even more advanced than his dad was at the same age. Um, At this point, it seems clear that like he's going to be a high level national recruit. It's so early for the class of 2028 that there aren't even rankings, right? Like he is listed as a 0 star because no one in that class has any stars next to them right now. But a rising sophomore coming off great reports at a top 100 camp, picking up a Big Ten offer in Rutgers, like it's probably not too early anymore for big programs to start getting after him officially on the recruiting trail. As far as I can tell, I mean, I know you're saying like it's a done deal, but as far as I can tell, like publicly, there is not a Michigan State offer at this point. Do you, as a fan, like, should there be? Do you want to see them get way out in front of this, or how are you hoping this goes?
Yeah, I mean, does I'm trying to think back to like the earliest Michigan State has extended an offer to a kid. I feel like this is just like this, whether it's right or wrong, I think it's wrong. I just think it's too early for Michigan State the way they kind of go about things. And, right now it has the directional schools. The Rutgers one makes sense, obviously, with the connection, Coach Schmoke, who's on the staff at Rutgers. They got really good Michigan ties and very good family AAU ties, given Coach Williamson's connection to the program, him being uh basically the coach of the family for a large part of his prep coaching career. But yeah, I mean, he probably had a Michigan State like, oh, he could come here the minute he came out the womb.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. Yeah, I mean, he could have had an offer at like 6 years old, I feel like.
Yeah, like we could have, we might as well.
But with that said, he doesn't have an offer right now. So like it's all fun and games to say it, but like you could offer him right now.
Yeah,
And
I don't see the downside of not doing that.
you don't see any downside to not getting out early on Mateen Cleaves Jr.
Yeah, like might as well. What is the downside of offering him right now?
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
I
like
think he might just commit right away.
yeah, I mean it's a bigger thing to like is Michigan State recruiting anybody in the high school class?
I don't know if they're recruiting anybody at all, period.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
period. So like can we at least recruit the legacy kids?
Um, this comes in waves. Because I remember like 6 years ago, people speculating that, oh, Tom just wants to get through Cassius. Once he
Hmm.
gets through Cassius, then it can be time. And then it was like, well, Jeremy Fears came in and they've got a very special bond. He compares him to Mateen. So he just wants to get through Jeremy, get through the floor general. Would you look at that card? As soon as the floor general leaves, Mateen Cleaves Jr. himself could walk through the door. Is Tom Izzo still going to be here by the time Mateen Cleaves Jr. gets to school?
2020, yeah. Yeah.
Is Tom Izzo still going to be here by the time Mateen Cleaves Jr. leaves school?
I know it's not even physically possible, but Tom Izzo might be at Michigan State longer than I'm alive.
That could be physically possible, honestly.
Maybe, yeah, true. When you really think about it, I don't know. Like I honestly, I've stopped doing that exercise as much. I really don't know if he's ever gonna go.
Yeah, I
Like
can't.
we make jokes about it. I think he is until he is physically incapable of doing so. There's two options: physically incapable of doing so and getting fired. The second option is never going to happen. So back to first option, if he is physically incapable of doing so.
Yeah, Yeah, I feel like I've thrown out the Mateen Cleaves Jr. name whenever people have been like, "Oh, once Jeremy Fears is done, he'll be done." I'm like, "No, like the guy his son's named after is coming right after that. This would be like the golden goose of Tom wants to just get through it though. Like it would truly be the perfect beginning and chapter to Tom Izzo's career to win a national championship with Mateen and then stay long enough to coach Mateen's son and how special that would be. Mateen would be courtside at every game, presuming he is allowed, which I think will happen. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's so much unknown with it, right? Like the conspiracy theorist in me wants to be like, oh, if they're not offering him way out in front, does that mean like Tom's uncertain that he wants to be there that long? But that feels like a stretch, you know?
Yeah, it does. And also, like, when does it end?
Do you think this kid's gonna end up getting like blue blood offers though? Besides, like he's getting Rutgers this early.
I don't mean to Jace Richardson myself again,
About to.
but I don't know about Blue Bloods, but I think like high major.
Yeah.
Like he strikes me as a kid whose ceiling is somewhere in the 50s in the class.
Okay. I think it could be higher than that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if like Kentucky comes calling because I think there will be an element of programs knowing he's just going to go to Michigan State. But I think some of the best will come calling for Mateen
Yeah,
Cleaves Jr.
I'm very interested to watch this season with St. Mary's. I think that's going to be very like obviously AAU is good, but I think it's going to be very telling kind of what the steps he takes going into this year in the high
Yeah.
school level.
Yeah. And while we're at this, what is my coach doing?
Oh God.
Well, why? I mean, we've kind of got this like Orchard Lake St. Mary's pipeline right now, right? Like we just go into St. Mary's and we pluck out the best players whenever we want. Like that's sort of how this works in the Dusty May era. Shout out to Trey McKenney. So I don't know. We're trying to get
Well,
Jackson.
see the thing is that's where it ends.
Well, we're trying to get Jackson
When
Richardson.
when it comes to St. Mary's, yeah, Michigan State's actually the people who usually gets the St. Mary's
Well,
guys.
are there any other St. Mary's kids worth getting right now?
Currently,
I feel like it's just Trey and Mateen.
yeah, probably yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Dusty's 1 for 1, trying to get Jackson Richardson. Going after that one pretty hard right now.
If
Uh,
your coach is as much of a psycho as you make him seem to be, I don't know if people will physically be able to compute seeing Cleaves Jr. on the back of like a Michigan 12
so
jersey.
I genuinely mean this. There's zero chance Mateen Cleaves' son would go to Michigan. Zero chance. Even if he wanted to, he would not be allowed to.
We talked to him in the graduate. We
Yeah.
know for sure he's not.
But Dusty May, I bet, will recruit him. Like Dusty has in 1 year shown such psychopathic tendencies with shit like this. Like even if the end goal is just to get a visit from Mateen Cleaves Jr., where Mateen has to like pose grumpily, that's a win for Dusty May, and I think he will prioritize it as such. At what year does Mateen Cleaves Jr. commit to Michigan State?
End of his sophomore year.
Okay, so less than 12 months from now.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see.